Welcome to Transitions. I'm your host, Antoinette Zloty. I have two interesting youths from Winnipeg here with me today. I will be speaking with Kelechi Obina. As well, I will be speaking with Mathew, Demeke. So these two young people are working in film. A lot of us do not understand the full breadth of all the work that goes into making entertaining films for us to watch. But I'm very pleased that these young people are transitioning into film. So I'll just start with you, Kelechi. Could you tell me a little bit about how you first got interested in film?
Absolutely. So I actually got into film basically just through my interest in filmmaking and watching movies growing up. Always had kind of an interest in visual arts and the creative aspect in filmmaking and how it's done. So I decided to eventually pick up a camera and just started off with photography and taking stills of family and friends. And then from there, more recently, I've started to record just different things in Winnipeg, artists I know, events that are happening, and kind of use that to tell stories a little bit.
I see. Was there anything particularly challenging then in the films that you have made, like a particular incident that happened or something that you came up upon? Because I think you've made how many so far?
Well, I've made a handful of different short projects, kind of a documentary style, if you will. So I've really looked at each project I've made as a learning opportunity, whether that's in knowing how to film or compose a shot or doing the post-production and editing. So I feel like each project has kind of thrown its challenges at me, just trying to make the work better. But it's also helped me to learn a lot of the technical aspects and make each one a little bit more refined, just kind of how it's executed. So yeah, there's definitely been some bumps in the road, but I think I've been able to learn from them and make the work better overall.
Overall. So did you happen to, I think that there are some opportunities here in Winnipeg, like the Afro Prairie Film Festival. That's where I actually met you, and I saw your film that you will be showing a clip of later, or pretty soon actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some other opportunities that you are really taking advantage of too, to network in the film industry, are you not?
Actually, well, kind of in the artist industry in general, I've collaborated with quite a few musicians on music videos and projects, and that video you actually saw at the film festival was an excerpt from a larger film I did at a previous art festival event, where we had a venue with some artists and there's a projector there, so I put something together to kind of showcase some of my work, of people being interviewed and sharing their life stories. So it's always been something that I've wanted to do, and I guess just with some of my early work, it's kind of helped me get different opportunities to be in festivals or be involved in different events. So it's kind of snowballed over the last few months.
So your actual life's work then is related more to marketing, you were saying before?
Well, professionally I work in marketing, and that's kind of my, I guess, academic background, graduating in business. That was something that I felt like I had a lot of my strengths in and still do. I think with picking up a camera, that just gave me another creative outlet to communicate in a different way, and just kind of tell stories from things that I see around in my life.
That's wonderful. That's really good. Well, I'm hoping that we'll see a lot more of your work here in Winnipeg, and I'd really encourage people to take advantage of the Afro Prairie Film Festival that will be coming up in February, and really support it and get out and see some very interesting creative things that are happening. So what we'll do then is, why don't we, what was the name of the film that we will be looking at, just in a couple of minutes?
Yeah, so the full project was called was a series called I Don't See Color. It was basically different individuals from the Black community, artists, friends, that basically sit in front of a camera and tell their story, whether it's a life lesson or just something interesting about their life. So I think the clip we're showing is going to be one of the people that sat in front of the camera and shared something about herself. And basically the whole series is actually available on Facebook as well. So if you go to Eze Studio, that's EZE Studio, at EZE Studio 204, the whole series is there, and you can basically see what each person had to share.
That's great. That's wonderful. So we'll just cut to that clip right now, and we'll have a look.
Hi, my name is Isha, and today I'm going to talk about my smile. So a lot of people don't know this, but growing up as into puberty too, I was constantly bullied because of my smile, just for the fact that I had a very wild smile, and my gums were sticking out. So when you're growing up, you have little mole teeth, so it looked really bad. Anyways, so being who I was, it was so hard for me to hide my smile, because as soon as somebody would crack a joke, it's just ha 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 ha, and I can't help it. Then I had to do all these little whatever. But the part that crushed me the most for me when I was that age, it's pretty hard to overcome your insecurities, so-called. It turned out to become insecurity without even me thinking of it being an insecurity. Because I was just constantly made fun of when we had class photos, and they asked us to smile, and I would just sit there because I didn't want to open my mouth because of how big my smile is and how kind of ugly it looked. But then growing up and being a teenager now still, it's so hard for me to hide my smile, because when I approach somebody, the first thing I do is smile, because it's an automatic thing, and it's become contagious. And right now, I'm still learning how to control my smile, I guess, but it's hard still. Whenever I smile, I just think about, don't smile too wide, don't try too hard, don't try and hide it, because some people will look at your gums or your teeth or whatever. But right now, where I'm at, I've learned how to turn it into a good thing, and it's really helped me grow as a female too, because when you smile, it lights up your face, and it just lights up the atmosphere. So one thing I told myself is, if I'm gonna smile, I better make it a great smile. So whenever I talk, I always smile. I can't help it, and whenever I'm talking or laughing with other people, you always just see me with a big ass smile. But it's turned out to be something great, and I've overcome it maturely, I feel. And I've been using it to my best advantage. So one thing I can say is, don't hate yourself for what people say about you, because you never know where your smile might take you. The end. I don't know that. The end. Oh, God. Okay, the end.
Welcome back to Transitions. Mathew Demeke, welcome to Transitions. Can you tell me a little bit about your early years and how you got interested in filmmaking?
Okay, for sure. I guess early on I really enjoyed watching movies, but I didn't end up doing any filmmaking till after I graduated high school, and I was kind of interested in it because I really enjoyed watching movies and was interested in kind of creative storytelling. So I ended up looking up the Winnipeg Film Group and took a couple of workshops and volunteered on a few film projects and kind of took it from there.
Oh, I see. So did you go to high school here in Winnipeg? Was that?
Yeah, I went to high school in Winnipeg at Fort Richmond, yeah.
At Fort Richmond,
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So Winnipeg Film Group, that's really good, because I've had some contact with them as well, and I really think that they're a really good group to be a part of.
Mm-hmm.
did you encounter any kind of challenges at all so far with the work that you're doing?
A few. The most recent one was I did a film for the 48-hour film contest that the Winnipeg Film Group does every year, and they gave us the keys for the contest the day of, and I realized it didn't fit with the script that I had in mind. So then that night I had to rewrite the script and shoot the next day and edit it all within 48 hours. But I got it done, and it was a good learning experience. But that was a very big challenge with that time constraint.
That's great. Is that the film clip that we're going to see today, or
not the one we will
No?
see today? It'll be a different one.
a different one?
Yeah.
Okay. So are you posting your films anywhere that people can go and see them, independent of the show here today?
Sure. The one we're showing today, that's the only one I have up currently. But my YouTube channel is Mathew, Demeke, where that one short film is now. But hopefully in the near future there will be more.
There'll be more.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting way to go about it.
Yeah.
I think there are a lot more opportunities available to young filmmakers now than they were before. Would
Definitely.
you say?
I think so with the technology. Yeah.
And if you had to do it all over again, would you still think that this is an area that you would like to be in?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think it's really interesting to me, and hoping to get more into it in the future.
In the future.
Yeah.
But before you told me that you were in geography, so
Yeah.
is there any way that you could see a tie-in of geography with filmmaking?
Yeah, I hope to do that in geography. We learn a lot about environmental issues and social issues. So I'm hoping to kind of combine what I've learned and make documentaries about those different kinds of issues. That's something I'm really interested in.
Well, certainly some people have indicated to me that transitions are happening in our environment, and
Right.
they would like to maybe suggest that I could do a show. So maybe there's a room for some collaboration there on a project, and maybe between yourself and myself and Kelechi, we could try to put something together.
Yeah.
That would be really interesting.
Yeah, it'd be cool to be
So
part of
tell me
that.
just briefly about the clip that we're going to see right now.
Sure. This short film was called Closer, and it's basically about a grandson visiting his grandfather on his grandfather's birthday, and their grandfather's trying to find a way for them to connect.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Very timely with everyone being very concerned about intergenerational contact between people and connecting and so on. So that's interesting. So we'll cut to that now then, and let our viewers take a look. And then we will be back with Kelechi and have a brief chat. But thank you.
My pleasure.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. So here we go, folks. Welcome back to Transitions. So you were talking before about something that was unexpected that happened, and I'm interested in hearing from both of you. Could I start with you then?
For sure, yeah. I talked a little bit earlier about the 48-hour film contest and how I participated in that, and it was very difficult to make a film within 48 hours. And to give people a background on what that is, it's basically an event that's run by the Winnipeg Film Group every year, and they give teams 48 hours to write, direct, and edit a movie. So they'll send out teams a key to the contest, and that'll give you like a theme you have to incorporate, different camera techniques, things of that nature, and you have 48 hours to get the film done. And they pick the top 18 films to play at the Gimli Film Festival, and everybody's film will be played at the Metropolitan Theatre in Winnipeg, and people can go to the Winnipeg Film Group website to get more info on that.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's very good. Good opportunity. And how about yourself? Something that was quite unexpected, but maybe it turned out to be okay.
Yeah, I would definitely say last year I received an invitation to host a venue at Nuit Blanche, which kind of just came out of nowhere. That was right in the middle of myself kind of learning, using camera and photography and everything like that. And so the space that we ended up using had a projector, so I decided that something should be used for that. So that's where I put together my video project for I Don't See Color. And shooting that was actually last second because we were kind of planning everything, and was able to get some friends together to share their stories, and it ended up getting a lot of traction where people asked to see it online. So I ended up posting the project online afterwards in separate episodes, and I think this year we're going to be working on doing kind of a second season, continuing some stories and seeing where it goes from there.
Oh, I think that'd be great.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that because I really enjoy it quite a bit. And so what would make Winnipeg a better place to make film? Well, if you had to improve things.
I've heard one thing is maybe more funding opportunities, especially I've heard for when you're just starting out in film, there's a lot of opportunities for just amateur filmmakers, but as you get to like that mid-level, the funding opportunities I've heard kind of dry up. So especially if there could be more funding for those mid-level filmmakers. I know there's a lot that's kind of complicated, but that's something that could be improved.
I could see your point there. How about yourself, Kelechi?
Yeah, I think from someone who's done a lot of work in the Black community and kind of showcasing different dynamics there, I think a lot more inclusion sort of in terms of different backgrounds and telling different stories would be really essential in a lot of the established scenes in the city. So I think with the venue that I held last year at Nuit Blanche Art Festival, we were basically one of two venues that were held and run by people of color throughout the whole festival. So and that was kind of a newer concept for things like that to be seen in the city. So I think it's really important that people understand that artistry and artists come from a variety of different backgrounds. So I think that's starting to be reflected and shown more and more, but it's always something that's going to be key to showcase and its importance and those stories being told as well as others. So
Well, I'm glad I didn't miss the Afro Prairie Film Festival. Maybe
Exactly.
Can you comment on what that was like for you?
Yeah, so Afro Prairie Film Festival was a new concept this year in February during Black History Month, and so Ben, the director at Winnipeg Film Group, helped to coordinate that with Black Space, and I believe there's some information on the Winnipeg Film Group website and Black Space website about those, but it was really exciting to see amateur filmmakers all from the Black community having their work showcased, and also some other films from Black directors from internationally as well. So it was really exciting to see some of that.
Well, yeah, I'm very excited about what the future holds here in Winnipeg, and there's always room for improvement, and in many ways. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of your work. So I'd like to thank both of you for coming in and sharing your thoughts and sharing your work. And I hope our viewers have enjoyed the two films that we've shown. Please visit us online at our website, and we hope to have links to these young filmmakers and others in the future. Thank you for joining us.